Howdy gang, it's your friend Dominic. I hope you're doing well. I've got a special video for you today. Gonna be a little different. This is a project video where I show off to you, the viewer, my new bait tank for 2021. Come along with me, let's check it out. Happy New Year, folks. I hope everybody's doing well. Things have been all right in my neighborhood. I've been getting a lot of stuff in order for my grad school applications. By the looks of it, I'm going to apply to Eastern Michigan University and Central Michigan University for their master's programs in the psychological studies, specifically in counseling. But, you know, you're here to watch fishing stuff and not so much hear me talk about school and whatnot. But I've got to give you the backstory about this IBC tote behind me. So if we look at this tote right here, we've all probably seen these totes, you know, driving past a farm. Maybe you have some of these. Maybe you even have experience, you know, doing whatever it might be with one of these totes. This is a 330 gallon IBC tote container, but it is also going to be my new bait tank. This bad lad right here is going to be home to my victims this spring that might become channel or flathead catfish candy. So if, you know, we look at it, it's a nice plastic drum, got a little bit of snow on it. As you can tell, we have some snow here in southeast Michigan. Comes in this cage. It is 330 gallons. For the most part, when we're looking at it, you know, it's a pretty common unit, and I just want to share with you all my plans that I'm going to do with it to keep bait fish inside of it. If we look down here, we have, you know, a drain valve so all the water can escape. I'm going to have to make sure I use this and have it facing in the appropriate way once, once it's all set up here. You know, we've got a metal paneling like that one on both sides. We got this from Quanta Containers LLC, based out of Taylor, Michigan. One of my very good friends, Andy, gave me this for Christmas, and I've got to say it's one of the favorite Christmas gifts that I've ever gotten. I love project gifts. I love being able to take something and do something really, really cool with it. And we look at it, you know, from the outside. A few months ago, he and I were saying how, you know, a tank like this one right here would be fantastic for keeping bait fish in. And we've both seen a lot of people on YouTube, you know, convert these into real good bait tanks. But he and I talked about it for a while, and, you know, I gotta say, I thought this tank right here would be a little bit too big. My original plan, well, not my original, but my most recent plan was get like 100-gallon horse trough or so. But hey, the dude beat me to it. He got me this incredible container, and I just want to take the video to show it off. This is an IBC caged tote. It holds 330 gallons of water, and, you know, it's going to be home to the bullhead, the suckers, the carp, the silver bass, the rock bass, the bluegills, whatever it is that I'm going to use as my catfish bait. You know, they're going to find residence inside here. I promise you that. I promise you that. So let's look at it real quickly, and I'm going to show you my plans for it, or at least describe my plans for how I plan to keep bait alive inside this tote. So this side right here with the drain nozzle, we're going to call this the face of the tank. And for the most part, I'm pretty sure the face of the tank isn't going to be on the same side as the lid, if you will. I would like to have the lid available on the side of the tank. So whether it be this side or the other side, I'm going to go up to the tank and be able to lift up a lid and be able to dip my bait. So as of now, my plan is to take a jigsaw and cut across where my finger goes, roughly around there, and then straight across and down, and then around, you know, probably down in here. I would like to create a lid for this IBC tote, so that when I cut it, I can drill holes here and I can drill holes here, and that way when I pull up to it, I'm going to be able to lift up the corner of the plastic on this tote and be able to dip my fish. My backup plan, if that doesn't work, I'm just going to take the entire top off and build a lid for it. But this way, if I cut it here and around the opening and create this door for it with the hinges, you know, I'm not going to have to worry about a whole lot of things. These bars, you know, I just have to get a star bit Allen wrench right here and get them off of here. My plan is to take an angle grinder hooked up to the air compressor, and I want to cut right here, and then I want to cut here, here, and across this line right here. If I need to cut any more, maybe I'll cut down here, but I don't think so. But for the most part, it's going to come down here to this first pipe. So the railing from here and over flush to the other side, you know, this part of the cage is going to be gone. And that way, I'm not going to have any metal in the way. This plastic will still be here, but because of, you know, with my design, the hinges will be right here and right here. I'll be able to come up to it, lift it up, and be able to dip my bait inside of it. Now, if we look inside, nothing has been in this tote so far, and that's really important if you want to create your own bait tank like this. You know, you can buy LBC totes like this, reasonably affordable. I'll be sure to put a link below in the description where you can find the source where I at least found mine in Southeast Michigan. But for the most part, if you know where you can buy an IBC tote like this one, go for it. Just make sure that it hasn't had anything inside of it, because they store everything and anything inside these units, you know, chemicals, food, water. And because I'm doing it as an aquaculture setup, you know, I would prefer for there to be nothing else have ever been inside the tank. You're better off just getting a brand new tank. It is a 330-gallon tank. So when you think about it, it's quite large. You know, it's a very big setup. And I got to tell you, you know, if you're going to go through the work and efforts in producing a bait tank of this magnitude, you know, it's quite a big commitment. You have to make sure you've got a good pump. I'm just showing this off today. There'll be a project video in the future about it. I have a pump picked out already. My friend Mark from Catfish and Crappie YouTube channel, he has a Pond Boss pump for his bullhead and baitfish tank. and it does, you know, 300 gallons an hour or so, and it's rated for ponds up to 500 gallons. Now, because this is a 330 gallon tank, you got to take into consideration when it's filled to the top, that's 330 gallons. For the most part, I'm going to probably put 290, maybe 300 gallons of water inside of it or so. So you got to make sure you have a really good filter. You got to make sure you have, you know, all your ducks in order before you start putting your bait fish in there. Go to the pet store, make sure you get a couple of nitrate tests so you make sure that your fish that you will put in your bait tank, whether it be this big or 100 gallons or whatever, you got to make sure your bait fish are staying healthy. You know, first and foremost, make sure you get a good filter, make sure you get a good container, and make sure you put it in the right side of your property. I don't really have a backyard. I've got a side yard here. You can obviously see it. But this tank will go behind my house, and it's for the most part going to be in shade. I still believe I'm going to build a box for it to conserve as much of the temperature as I can. I don't want it to be in the direct sunlight if I can help it, but I'm super excited, folks. This is going to be a fantastic tank. You know, we're walking around, we're looking at it. I've got the dolly. I pulled it out from the side of the house because I've got to tell you this, you know, like when, you know, nothing's in it, if you look at that, it's quite light. But if we put about 300 gallons of water inside of it, you know, it's going to weigh close to 2,500 pounds. Once you fill it, you will not be able to move it. And I want to make sure I get that point across. When it is in its final position, I believe I'm going to put a pallet underneath it so it doesn't sink super hard into the lawn. But I just really wanted to show off to every single one of you what I've got going on here for this bait tank. I know it seems like I'm rambling, but you know, we got a lot of great things ahead of us in as far as, you know, video goes. We've got a lot of great things ahead of us as far as the agenda for videos go. You know, if you're able to have live bait on demand, like you know, my end goal is, you're going to do great things out on the water. I can guarantee it. It takes so much work out of the equation. You know, if you already have your bullheads, your carp, your suckers, your pike minnows, your bluegills ready to go out to the water, you don't got to spend any time looking for them. Because, you know, this tank right here is going to be the bee's knees when it comes to keeping bait fish alive. We've got a lot of work to do to it, and I'm not going to get after it until it gets a little bit warmer. As you can tell, we've got all this snow out here. But you know, I'm always open to suggestions. Folks, if you have any questions or suggestions regarding how I should construct this tank, what I should use, I'm going to put a link below in the description for the filter and pump I'm going to be using. But all in all, I am super excited about this. I had to make a video about it. Just, you know, we got the metal sides over here and on this end, so I'm thinking the door is either going to be over here or on this side. I want to be able to pull it up, be able to dip my bait, and then call it a day. But until next time, folks, this is my bait tank. This is one of my very big projects for 2021. And if you have any questions or suggestions, I highly welcome them. But until next time, I'm Dominic. Have a great day.